Word.
So first off, who are you and where are you from?
As mentioned before, my name is Avaneesh Benki, not Beneki. I'm from near Albany. I just say Albany, but specifically Niskayuna, New York.
Okay.
It's like a rural, kind of just suburban town, I'd say. Like pretty picturesque.
Mm. Okay. So growing up, were your parents involved? What sports did you play?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I'd say I'm lucky enough to have pretty involved parents. My dad like kind of lived through me, so every time we did sports, he'd like go all out.
Mm.
So, I started Taekwondo when I was like probably 8. Did that till 13. That's pretty intense. Like practice like 4 or 5 times a week, a couple hours. And that ended. I just got really bored of it, and like I got a black belt. It's also Taekwondo. It's like the fakest martial art. But my teacher was really sick. I remember she was like a New York City cop, and she was on the Olympic team for USA. So she trained us good, and then I ended up winning a gold medal at AAU like nationals, but it was kind of Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
It was like 7, like 13-year-olds. It wasn't really like serious, but it was so cool. It was in Florida.
Yeah. Did you join because your dad wanted you to, or was it
Yeah,
a little bit both?
I'm sure I was like, okay, when I was like a little kid, like 5 through 10, like around that age, like I like wrestling and fighting kids.
Yeah.
Like, I would get in trouble a lot for like just like scratching kids or some random bullshit. So I guess maybe that's why he put me in. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
But it's also like on our drive, like it was pretty close to our house.
Mm.
So it was like on the way. It was convenient. And it was like a little, where I lived, it was like the nicer part of town because my parents were engineers, which I'm fortunate enough to have like pretty well off.
Yeah.
Then right next to our town was like an inner city type area, Schenectady, not as nice. But yeah. So the Taekwondo place was more in the city.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's a good. I like grew up around kids that did not have it so well. So I think it's a big part of my development there.
Yeah. So you were able to go because was your school in the city? Or?
No, my school was in the nice area.
Okay.
But like a lot of my friends that I made during Taekwondo, I think really formed more of my personality than in the school. I didn't really have that many like I had friends, but they're like school friends. I didn't hang out with them outside of school.
Yeah.
Like elementary and middle school mostly.
Okay. So what made you going into high school? Were you weren't still doing taekwondo?
No.
It was more you did tennis, right?
Yeah. So after I quit that like 12, 13, I was just like bored of it.
Yeah.
And my dad was a huge tennis fan. Like he would play it all the time. And that's when he started putting me in tennis and he got really competitive with that. I think I did it simultaneously for a little bit. But tennis probably started around 13 and I played pretty competitively until like 16. But I just remember I still played in like all through high school, but I stopped doing tennis as serious and then I switched like track and cross country towards like junior, senior and sophomore year.
Okay. Would you say you worked hard during tennis or was that kind of more of a BS sport?
That was every sport I did, I put like my all into it. So
yeah.
Tennis, like when I was doing it, like my main sport, like I remember I used to basically, like my dad used to say we had 2 homes. So the gym was called Sport Time. It's like a tennis facility. And in the summers, I probably spent like 8 hours there, probably more summer camps and just like staying after. And then weekdays too, like probably like 3 or 4 hours a day, just there playing a lot of tennis. That's where my main friends were in middle school.
Yeah.
Too. Just like I didn't hang out with my school friends outside of school, so I would just go there. They had a good community, a bunch of kids. But yeah.
So you were a hard worker in school though, right?
Yeah, I mean, with Indian parents, that's like a given, like getting good grades.
Yeah.
It's like, once I do that, then I can like start talking about extracurriculars.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't really have to worry about that. I'm like pretty naturally bright.
Okay.
Which I've been gifted with.
So now that you're like towards the end of your high school career, where were you starting to think about West Point?
I knew that whatever like job I wanted had to be exciting, or like I got bored very quick. So I think the first time I even thought about the military was like they had on the drive to Sport Time, which is where I play tennis. This big like, can I swear on this?
Yeah.
I will. There's this big sign on the freeway that was like a Marine, like the few that chosen the proud, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to be a Marine. Then like I also wanted to go to college, so I just started researching. I found West Point in 10th grade, I think.
Yeah.
My parents had no idea what it was. I didn't really tell them. I was just like, I'm going there. They're like, okay. But they thought I was kidding. And then junior year, I started applying, and I was like, that's the only school I really want to apply to. That was like some friction in my family. But eventually I ended up applying to West Point Air Force Academy and like 2 or 3 like safety schools just to make my parents
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah. Was there any ambition to go like just to um like Cornell or anything like that?
I might have had the grades for it. I'm not sure. Not really. I wasn't really looking for like the prestige of a big school. Like, I just wanted to be happy and busy. I like being busy.
Yeah.
And I knew like there's a lot of stuff here.
Mm.
Once I visited here, like just seeing the community and stuff,
Mm.
I was like, all right, I'm going here. So it's
Yeah.
not much like deliberation.
What about Air Force?
The deliberations between here and Air Force, but I ended up picking West Point just because the history, I think, and also it's closer to home. That was a big thing. I can go home and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest reason was just like the people first aspect.
Mm.
Like I like working with people, and I've like met a couple kids that go to Air Force. It's more like technology based, and like I don't know how to explain it well, but like you know the vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever I was applying here, I applied to all 3.
Yeah.
And my next door neighbor, he was actually the one interviewing me for like the congressional nominations. So I got to talk to him leading up to interviews, and I told him I'm not sure which one I want to go to if I get into say all 3. West Point's up there, but maybe Navy, maybe Air Force.
Yeah.
And he told me Army is people based. Like if you want to lead people, go to the Army.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to support like a ship, Navy. And it's the same thing with the Air Force. Do you want to support a vehicle?
Yeah.
And it's a little bit more, it's a different objective here than Air Force or Navy. And that's also why I came here, is because I like the human interaction aspect of it. Leading people is a lot more appealing to me than, say, even though like flying a jet would be awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like being a PL in an infantry platoon is just, you can't beat it, you know?
Yeah, no, that's the exact same reason I came here. I think someone told me like along the same lines, like with Army, the pride is like the people and like what they can achieve versus like the Navy, like, oh, we got this sick boat.
Yeah.
And like the Air Force, like the fastest jet, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got in.
Mhm.
How was, first off, R Day and Beast for you?
I was just excited, man. I mean, I like trying new stuff. So, our day it was pretty crazy. I'm sure you know.
Yeah,
Just
it
got
was
there, shaved my head, had like this
BS.
crazy haircut. I don't know why my parents let me rock it, but it was like too long. Shaved it all off, you know. Yeah, I don't remember most of it. You gonna say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I would argue that's better than having a shaved head showing up.
Yeah.
Because we had a shaved head. This kid in our company, actually, he had a shaved head coming in. And they lined us up outside the barbershop. And they started asking, if anyone already has their head shaved, raise your hand if you won't get a haircut.
Yeah.
Like trying to egg people on, just like new cadets.
Just mess with them.
And they're like, we won't cut your hair. We won't do it. We promise. And he thinks about it, and he goes, Sergeant, I already have a haircut. And then they just, like, ripped him apart. Yeah.
Yeah, I shaved all the bald guys. I remember there's, like, one dude with no hair. Buzzed him anyway. But, yeah.
So, yeah. Beast, how was that for you? You struggle?
I wouldn't say I struggled. Like I said, I think even when I'm struggling, I'm having fun. Like,
Yeah.
I thought airsoft was a lot of fun. But, yeah, Beast was, I don't remember most of the stuff. I don't know if it's, like, my mind does it on purpose, like forget how annoying it was or anything, but I just remember making a lot of friends. Like, I never shot a gun before. In New York, that's like not really a thing where I live. So the qualling was sick. That was pretty cool. I don't know, just being exposed to all the new stuff was pretty interesting. I look like an idiot though. I had my like BCG fucking glasses on, shaved head. Oh man, I look horrible.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Was there a lane that you struggled with?
Qualifying, I took a little bit of time to get used to.
Yeah.
But I think I did all right. I think I shot like 25, something like that.
Yeah.
It was decent. And then struggle with, not really. I would say I struggle just the average amount, but you start figuring things out.
Yeah.
Like going into Beast 2.
Yeah. Beast isn't really like that hard.
Yeah, I
Of
mean,
a
as long as you like just do
school.
what they say, you'll make it through.
Yeah. What made you want to join the boxing team?
Just a background in combat sports. Oh, during COVID, actually, I started
Yeah,
boxing.
that's okay. That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
What made you want to start by yourself?
starting by myself.
Yeah.
My dad says I just had the bug from like doing taekwondo like when I was a kid,
Mm.
but I think it, like I don't know, just the way I am, I guess like fighting's always just been interesting to me. Not like I'm aggressive, like I want to hurt people, but just like the science of it,
Yeah.
and also a little bit, I guess, of the hurt people when I was a kid. I got into some trouble,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was just a fan of MMA. Like even when it wasn't like as huge, like right now everyone's a fan of MMA.
Yeah.
But like I was just like the only one of my friends like watching UFC and stuff like that. So just started during COVID. I begged my dad for a punching bag. We hung it up in the basement. I like got these shitty ass gloves. They were so bad. But yeah, I just tried to teach myself. And I started with like footwork and stuff, which I know that's something that people at the West Point boxing team struggle with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just started ground up, no rush.
Mm.
Just trying to figure some basics out. Yeah, that's where it came from. And then when I visited here, my plebe was in boxing, so I talked to Coach Hart, and he said that he like really needed a 119er. So that's when like I was like, all right, I'm gonna be on the boxing team at West Point.
Mm. Would you say that like you actually got productive work in by yourself, teaching yourself?
Knowing what I know now, and like I've seen a couple clips I like recorded myself, I thought it was a shit.
Yeah.
It was not really good,
Yeah.
but it's better than nothing. And
Yeah.
I think for what I had, just like YouTube and like not really an understanding of the fundamentals,
Mm.
I think I did a good job.
Mm. Did you ever think about going to a local gym?
A local gym.
Yeah.
I thought about it, but like it was during COVID when I really was like doing it a couple hours a day,
Yeah.
and then by the time it opened up back up again, it was like I was just too busy, college apps and all that stuff.
Mm. Yeah. I was kind of like the same way. COVID hit, and my dad always had a punching bag, and I really didn't teach myself anything. I just hit it.
Just hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I filmed it every now and then, and like looking back on
What,
it.
you think you look like a dork?
Yeah. I look
No,
like a
I got
dork.
the same way, bro. I was like, what the fuck if I do it? I thought it was hard though. I was posting that shit.
Yeah. But like, I went to MMA gyms every now and then.
Yeah.
In the summer, and MMA really doesn't teach boxing that well.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all
Different
about
striking
yeah,
system.
it's completely different because even you watch like UFC fighters, and like first off, people get knocked out way faster.
Yeah.
Just because of the gloves, so they don't have to set up harder
Like,
punches.
well, you can chuck over hands.
Yeah,
like
you can
Khabib.
just Ngannou
Yeah.
it and just chuck overhands until they fall.
Mhm.
So it's really different coming from like MMA, where say you just throw two punches and then kick.
Yeah. Were you doing a lot of MMA before?
Not like serious. It was more of jujitsu. It was like
That's cool.
jujitsu and MMA once or twice a week
Mhm.
in the summer. And that was mainly to develop my wrestling. Like I did not even care that much about striking then. It was more about how can I like level up my grappling game through a different dimension.
That's something I wish I was exposed to. I wish
Mhm.
my dad put me in wrestling instead of tennis.
Yeah,
Just because.
New York is crazy good at wrestling. I
Yeah.
mean, compared to Louisiana. And y'all have like so many clubs around here.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
I think I would have been good at it. That's like was my main form of mischief
Yeah.
when I was like 7. Just like wrestle kids all the time. But if I learned how to like properly, I think I'd be whatever. It's all good. I'll take combative next year.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Do you ever think about going to MMA after like you commission?
It seems like the natural progression. I think we get
Yeah.
bored of boxing. Like once you start boxing, I'm more of a UFC fan or MMA fan than like boxing. I think it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then like I feel like that's the same thought process as everyone. And like Ryan is my roommate right now.
Yeah.
I think that's like a huge influence. Like he wants to do MMA. I feel like I'll probably end up training MMA in the future.
Yeah. Cuz like another thing with boxing is the learning curve is crazy.
Yeah.
You know? You can't be a world champ unless you've done it since like you like have been walking, you know. Every like Haney and Garcia, they've been doing it since they were 7.
Mm-hmm. They spend
And-
years and years in the amateurs.
Yeah. So it's like if you just come into college learning to punch, you're never going to touch those guys.
Yeah.
So rather than MMA, there's like different ways to win than outstriking them. That's the biggest draw I think to MMA is how inclusive it is compared to boxing.
Yeah. I mean, they
Because
talk about like, when did George St. Pierre start training MMA? Like old as fuck, right?
I know he was like a Taekwondo kid,
Yeah.
but like he didn't seriously do it until later.
Yeah.
Same with Anderson Silva. He started training like in his late 20s.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Late 20s, you just be a world champ.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. MMA is an underdeveloped sport. Like right now, my friend AJ, you know AJ.
Yeah.
AJ was like, now there's gyms where they're actually having like kids compete. I
Yeah.
just feel like MMA is so new that they didn't really have like the structure to like have kids training since they were young. But I feel like that's gonna change.
It was also like scary to like the public in general because
it's just starting to get accepted now.
who was the politician who like just killed it? He ran against President Obama.
Mitt Romney?
No. McCain.
John McCain?
Yeah, his like famous thing. It was like.
Really, I didn't know he was anti-MMA.
Yeah, maybe like mid 2000s, he called it like human cockfighting, and just
that's
like.
kind of what it is.
Yeah, it is, but.
It's still cool.
Yeah, it killed everything it had going for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm seeing like gyms. The gym I'm going to now, like they have kids in amateur bouts, sure with like.
Headgear and big gloves and stuff. I
Yeah.
watch some of those on YouTube.
But like also that might not be the best base for it, you know, because like you could stick a kid in wrestling from like 7 years old to 18.
Yeah.
And he might be able to beat that kid who's been in MMA classes from 7 to 18.
That's true.
Just because it develops differently, you know?
Yeah.
That's also the biggest draw is how inclusive it is. Yeah.
I think that's why like people get, or me at least, like getting bored of boxing.
Yeah,
Once you start looking at striking and stuff, you just can't close off the possibility of like, okay, I can punch him, but like in a real fight, I'll shoot the takedown.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like this is a set standard that I have to listen to
it's a
beat
sport
you.
versus like
Fighting.
Yeah. Freely.
Yeah. Okay, let's start talking about your boxing career. So,
my career.
Yeah, you get on the team, or how was your initial tryout?
Like I said, I talked to coach.
Yeah.
And at that time, we had no 119er because Dylan just won, but like he was killing himself to make 119. And I was like basically the only. I weigh like I'm 119 natural. Like that's something weird about me. I'm just small.
Yeah.
So I like didn't have to cut really to make the weight, and I was also like I'd say one of the better boxers at tryouts just off rip. So I was like me, Emma, and Daisy were the first like round of selections. So we got like announced to the team or unveiled, or whatever you want to call it, like a couple of days before the rest of the cuts, which felt nice. I was like, but I wasn't really surprised. Like Coach Hart basically told me I was gonna be on the team. But yeah, tryouts is just tryouts. It's kind of like beast. Just like stick through, don't quit.
Yeah.
And then I'd say the biggest another difference was that Ryan was an I2, and I was like talking to him. He was like, "All right, I'm gonna make sure the I2 kids." It was me, Leo Adeo, Nick Badnelli all tried out. I think all three of us were roommates at that time. But yeah, we just like got with Ryan before and after practice. Like he held pads, showed us like from the beginning.
Yeah.
How to start. But yeah, I give a lot of credit to Ryan.
So you get on the team. How long does it take for you to get your first fight or fight night?
It was too close, man. I literally got on the team in like, when did we start school? August?
Yeah, like August 12th.
Yeah, so like end of September, got on the team, and our first fight was like end of November, or like start of November. Yeah.
That's fun.
It was fun. I mean, I don't know if I was ready, but I needed fights because I basically knew I was going to nationals.
Yeah.
So
Did you win?
I did not win. It was some Jacoby guy. I don't even know. It was at Did you go to that New England fight with us?
No.
Western New England, Golden Gloves.
Yeah, I did. New England, like Golden Gloves?
No, it was. The team is called Golden Glovers, like the Western New England Golden Glovers. But it's in like that police arena with the Bud Light, like branding everywhere.
I don't think I went there.
Yeah. It was in there. It was cool. I lost, but I didn't think I did too bad for a kid who's been boxing for like 2 months. Yeah. That dude was really tall. He was the tallest 119er I fought.
Yeah.
I think he was like at least 6 foot.
Did that like loss hurt you, or were you like, I just got here.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Or the second one. I was like, look at his developmental. Losses. I don't really take losses that hard unless it's like college boxing.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm competing against. But
Okay. And then, how many more fights did you have until nationals?
I had that one. I think that was it. Oh no, there was one. They had like a UConn or UPenn meet,
Mm.
and that's where I fought my like arch rival dude in college boxing. The same dude I fought 6 times. But yeah, he goes to UConn, but that fight, at like it was their home meet. It was insane. I gave him 3 8 counts, and I still lost the decision. It was ridiculous.
How's that? Is that, was it just like rigged or?
It's gotta be because he
Yeah.
gave me 0, and like he didn't hit me.
That's like my biggest problem with amateur boxing
Mhm.
is like judging and like the outcome of the sport unless they get stopped is completely like arbitrary.
It's such a cancer.
It's complete
It's such a
BS.
cancer.
It's like I'm coming from wrestling where
Yeah,
you score a point, you're above that kid, you know?
I know.
You pin him, he's done.
Yeah,
Rather this where it's like okay,
some random dude judging.
yeah,
Like the
it's like
qualifications to be a USA boxing like coach or umpire or judge or whatever you want to call it is like
Yeah.
an online course.
yeah,
So these
it's
guys,
stupid.
like, yeah.
It's kind of like the same thing with UFC, but it's not as bad in my opinion.
Yeah, no. The UFC I think does the best job at it.
Yeah.
Like, even close, like all the fights that people say are like rigged or whatever are all super close fights.
Mm.
Versus boxing. Last weekend I was at the Ryan Garcia Devin Haney fight.
Yeah.
Watch the fight before it. It was like Sean McComb, some like Irish guy, whooped his ass for literally 9 out of 12 rounds and lost unanimous. It was ridiculous. The
Yeah.
whole arena was booing, and then they just get away with it. Like,
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know
just
how
nothing
changes.
happens.
I know. It's ridiculous. Like, there's got to be some commission or something.
Yeah.
Looks at those, but
Or just some like change in rules. Cause like
yeah.
I know it's not simple, but the system we have right now just is not good
It's
at
horrible.
all.
Coach Melson told me that they used to do like a clicker, and like each umpire would like click every time a point,
Yeah.
like every time like someone made contact.
Mm.
But they got rid of that. I don't know why. But he told me like it was broken even then.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could like just. I don't know if you wanted a fighter to win, you could just click it more and more for that fighter.
But, I mean, I feel like if they look at the spreadsheet, it's like this umpire or judge like clicked like 6 times more than the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know.
So your first nationals, how'd that go?
Well, there's 4 people in my weight class. One of the dudes was a dude I beat at, same guy that I lost to, gave 8 count, or 3 8 counts to. I beat at regionals, and then, so it was me, Santa Clara kid on one side of the bracket, and then him and the Air Force kid on the other side. I stopped the Santa Clara kid, and then he beat the Air Force kid. So then me and UConn kid fought a 3rd fight, and I won unanimous, pretty clear.
Have you ever lost him?
The only time I lost was when I gave him 3 8 counts. I've
Oh,
never
sh-
given him another 8 count, and I've won unanimous. I think maybe I won split. But the only one I lost, man, was the one I beat him the worst, which is kind of crazy. And I fought
That's
him
funny.
like 6 times.
So coming out of nationals, you know, now have a strap.
Yeah.
Were you like, all right, screw this boxing thing, let's go do something else, or let's get better?
It's
You know?
it's weird. I was like not satisfied with my performance. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that's all great athletes. Not saying I'm a great athlete, but like that's the mindset that you need to have to be good.
Yeah.
But I was just like watch back my fight, I'm like, man, I'm ass. I really should not have like, you watch it and you're like, damn, why'd I get hit there?
Yeah.
But I would say that's when I improved the most. Was right after nationals. I had like a new, like I just rekindled my, like desire to get better. The semester before nationals was a hard one. I'm not gonna lie. Like I really did not like boxing that much.
Yeah.
But it just like took a lot of pressure off winning nationals, and then like practice is like way more unstructured. So that's when I just had like hours, like working on stuff I need to work on instead of like doing the team stuff.
Yeah. Were you just by yourself, or was Ryan helping?
Ryan literally carried my whole like boxing thing. Like all credit to him. He like taught me everything more than coach. I don't know if you can see this shit, but like realistically, more than coach, more than like anyone else. I think it's just Ryan, like putting the hours, holding mitts, like watching film all the time. Yeah.
What was like your biggest hole that you had to fix?
Just the way I fight, it's a lot of head movement.
Yeah.
And like slick moves.
Yeah.
But I would like hit a like slip or something, and then my feet would come up, my hips would come up,
Yeah.
and then my chin is in the air, and that's like the only times I really get hit. So just taking it slow and like keeping my weight down, which is why I'm big on like footwork and keeping like being systematic with your movements.
Yeah. So that's kind of like how Ryan fights too.
Yeah.
Y'all have a very similar style.
I'm sure that's a product of my training.
Yeah. Would you? This is like a question I've always had, and want your thoughts on this. Do you think there's a style that amateur boxing favors, and that
Definitely, yeah.
you should work for, or should you like adapt to your own style?
I'd say by weight class, it kind of differs a little bit, but at the lower weight classes, like me and Dylan, like Dylan's a perfect example of this. But like amateur boxing, aka like not pro fights with headgear, like we use headgear and bigger gloves. Like knockouts are not really gonna happen. So it's like point fighting, and then if you watch Dylan fight, he's like move, tag you once, maybe hit you twice, and then like he's completely out, and then it's back to the 50-50.
Yeah.
But every time you watch like Olympic trials or Olympic boxing, that's what they're trying to do. Very rarely do you see someone get laid out.
Yeah.
And then like of course that can change as you go up to weight class. I've seen 185ers get fucking laid out. But that's not really what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Let me take a second and make sure it's recording. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of Canelo because he kind of walks forward with an active high guard and blasts 2 punches and then kind of moves. And that's how he knocks out, beats his opponents.
Yeah.
I feel like that style is hard to use in amateur boxing.
I think so too. I mean, you have to be really slick and not get hit on your way in.
Yeah.
Like you can't trade for trade, because in a real boxing match, the other dude's getting hurt way more. And like it's 12 rounds, you have more time to work and build. But like in amateur, even the like quality of the punch doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So that's still hit for hit, which is annoying.
So would you say it's a bad idea for me to study Canelo, or?
I wouldn't say it's a bad idea, but you have to get really good at it.
Yeah.
Like you have to, like I said, really not get hit, and then when you're inside, land like 4 or 5 instead of like 2.
Yeah.
Canelo will, and then move out.
Yeah.
But like if you took Canelo and you made him fight like Bivol in an amateur fight, I think Bivol would beat him every day, because it's 3 rounds. Like,
Yeah.
The highest is 3 minutes, and Bivol will just like hit, move. Whereas Canelo's like the way his body is built and the way he fights, like he has to. It takes a long time for him to get inside and then work.
Yeah, because like I watched his fight with Plant the other day in English class, because English is boring.
Yeah. Good.
And he barely threw in the first few rounds.
Yeah.
And that's just like we can't do that.
You can't.
You know.
It's like go, go, go. I
Yeah.
mean, that's another big drawback of amateurs. It's like the strategy is way limited.
Yeah.
You can't like really build to the body. Like all like amateur fights, like or pro fights, like they'll rip to the body, and then it really shows like the rounds 9, 10, 11 where like they're super gassed.
It's like a body shot doesn't matter unless they actually like it blows them so hard their hands go down.
Yeah, and then you go up top.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you're not gonna have a lot of time to invest.
Yeah.
The body and then cash out.
Yeah. Do you watch a fighter in particular?
I think I don't really have like a single fighter that I watch the most. Maybe anyway, just because we're like around the same weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just try to watch a lot of fighters. I like watching more fighters than others. I like watching Triple G, Bivol, like I said, and anyway. Yeah, I think mostly those two. But I watch more UFC than boxing.
Yeah, same. It's just like
more interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about CFT real quick, because that's kind of.
Let me ask you a question first.
Yeah.
So I have Ryan. Do you think of me in the same way of Ryan? I don't think I've put in nearly as much work.
I mean, relatively, because I know you have like a lot of people that look up to you.
So does Ryan.
Yeah. But like, I can't have your time, you know?
Yeah.
It's just I have to take what I can get. That's why I look to you, Sean, JC, just older guys that can help me. So like, sure, it'd be nice, but
yeah. But just to put it in perspective, like all the time I spent helping you, multiply that by literally like 3 or 4, and that's just how devoted Ryan was.
Yeah.
To me, so it's like that dude's insane.
Yeah. Okay, so back to CFT. How was that for you?
Oh, CFT was a blast. I had so much fun. Yeah. Are you looking forward to it?
I'm so excited.
Do you have 2 or 1?
I have 2, and I'm going straight into air assault.
Yeah, that's how I did basically, but I had a week in between. But yeah, CFT is super cool. There's gonna be like I don't want to call them losers, but just the people that don't want to be there.
Yeah.
But like, just don't let them get to you. Like, it's like you never realize this when you're doing stuff, but like, it's crazy how like much time and effort other people are putting into like developing you.
Mm.
So like, you just go in there and see all the lanes, and like other people that are tasked to like teach you about if it's like the tank lane, just like, oh, this guy literally has to stand here for like 4 weeks and teach all the cadets about his tank. Like, I'm sure he doesn't want to be here, but like that's cool that we get to learn this stuff, even if it's for like a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. No, there's definitely times during Beast where I just showed up like a med lane,
Yeah.
and they were just showing me how to pack a wound, and I was kind of just brain dead, and
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care right now. And I'm trying like to avoid that for CFT because
Yeah.
I know it's
not,
really
that's like a common. That's not your fault. Like that's everyone feels that.
yeah,
But yeah, just like put it into perspective. That's what I do when I'm like bored. I'm like, well, I'm bored, but these guys have been doing this for like 4 weeks already.
yeah,
So, yeah, let me pay a little bit more attention.
yeah. What's like the dynamic like between your squad leader and
Mhm.
the squad?
I would say mine was a little bit different because my squad leader was pretty incapable. Like,
I feel like I've heard that a lot.
I mean,
Like
when you think about it, like they're literally
they're a year
dubs.
above
Like,
you,
there's me.
yeah. And it's not Beast where the new cadets are like stupid.
Yeah.
Um,
But a lot of times, like, I'd say like people in my squad had more like leadership ability or like aptitude at whatever we're doing than her. But I mean, I'm not hating on her. Like, she did her job. Basically, you like take accountability, and like when you go on FTXs, you're in the like tower of power in the middle.
mm,
But like that's all they're really doing. Like
Yeah.
they just text out like the packing list or whatever. It's not
Mm.
much leadership.
how'd your grade end up being?
Actually, that might be why I'm kind of harsh on her. She like literally told us that she hates distro, the force distro. So she was giving everyone a B minus for team leader or for the teammate grade.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean,
No, that would make me mad.
yeah, it's kind of killing my or brought my MD grade down, but like it's just a grade. I don't know. It's not really that big of a deal to me.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
this year, how has your perspective changed on the boxing team compared to like you just got on the team
Yeah.
and you need to get good for nationals? Now you're a leader and one of the best on the team. You know, how'd that change?
Just like crediting my success to like the people that helped me get better. I just want to like do the same thing, be the same person for other people, you know.
Mm.
So, actually, like nowadays, I would say I enjoy helping people more than boxing on my own.
Mm.
Like it, I don't know. I don't really like fighting that much, just because I like the active fighting. But then like the days before the fight and stuff, I kind of tweak out.
Yeah.
I get like nervous and stuff, which I don't enjoy that. But it's good for me. I know I'll grow from it. But like just as far as my position on the team goes, I wanna give back and help other people. Like I think 1-to-1 is a good ratio that I look for, is like working on my own stuff and then getting better for others.
Mm.
But yeah, like I said, I kind of have more leeway just because I'd say I'm pretty much better than everyone else in my weight class.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty proven. So like I wasn't like stressing like, damn, I really gotta grind. You know, I already won last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like it feels better watching when like one of my people I've been helping does something right. I'm like, that's what keeps me coming back to the team.
No, yeah, I definitely see that a lot. Like, you rarely are by yourself after practice. Like, you're always working with one of your friends or better yet, me.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel, I mean, you kind of already answered it, but do you ever, before a fight, feel like you haven't done enough?
Colonel Gist, I don't know if you're in the room, but like before one of our nationals practices, he like walked in and he said like the hay is already in the barn, like right before we left.
Mm.
And I think like that's basically been my mentality. Like I don't like talking about like, oh, I would have done this, like should have done this.
Mm.
Like before a fight, I'll be like, this is my game plan. I need to do this. And if I lose, like I'll definitely go back and be like, I should have trained harder.
Yeah.
But, like right before a fight, I'm not like, I don't think it's productive to like think about like, oh man, I didn't work on my 2 enough.
Yeah.
Hope it's good enough for the fight.
I'll tell you, before my Golden Gloves fight,
Yeah.
first off, I wasn't in like decent I was in very like minimal conditioning for that fight.
So you say your condition was bad?
Yeah. I mean, I was coming off winter break, and the most I was doing was the last week of winter break. I was jogging maybe 2 or 3
You
miles.
didn't work out during winter break that much?
No. That's first off gonna be changed this upcoming semester.
Yeah.
And like I walked into the fight. Sure, I was training hard for like the 2 weeks coming up, but I knew that if like it got into the later rounds, he would start teeing off on me just because of how tired I would get.
Yeah.
And like even like I remember standing.
So you knew that you'd get gas. In the
I
later
knew
rounds?
that. I was like, I'm definitely gonna get gassed. Just like by the way I was hitting the bag,
Yeah.
I was like already breathing heavy, and I was like, this
Mm.
is not good. You know.
For the people who are listening and don't watch or don't box, when you're in a fight, like your gas tank is cut in half.
Yeah.
Like you just get so much. I don't know why it happens. You just get way more time.
Yeah. You just don't fight like how you spar
Yeah.
at
Not even
all.
close.
Like I realized that. First off, you're trying to hurt the other person.
Yeah.
In sparring, you're not really trying to. That's my mentality, at least.
Should be everyone's.
Maybe like with body shots, I'm trying to hurt you, but not in the face, you know. But yeah, like me and Coach Hart were standing right next to the ring, and I almost like had a sense of doubt. I was like,
Damn.
this kid's been working his ass off for this tournament for the past few months, and I just got off the couch from winter break.
Yeah.
He might tee off on me, and I mean, shoot, bell rang, and he ran up and threw a 1-2, and that like shocked me. That initial 1-2 just
Did it sting you?
it didn't sting, but like a one fast punch cold,
Yeah.
like will hurt
Wake
a little
you
bit.
up.
Yeah, I'll be like,
Hurt you.
okay, he just hit me really
And
hard.
I think like we don't spar at 12 ounce, so
Yeah,
sticking
no,
with 12
that's
ounce,
that's the
that might
biggest
be a
thing
big
too. I just bought some 14-ounce gloves because
Yeah.
hitting a bag and drilling with 20-ounce gloves is gonna be completely different from at least 14 to 12.
That's what I remember the most from my first fight, which is like taking that first punch from the 12 ounce. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
this is different than sparring.
yeah,
That shit actually kind of stung.
yeah. No, and like hitting the bag too and throwing, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Just was it like a half pound? Yeah, half pound from 20 to 12 is off your hands. A full pound between the two, and now you have to go out there and fight like you've been sparring.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just different, and I think we should definitely be encouraging those who are about to fight to start using lighter gloves
I
working
agree.
into it.
Ryan has some like 10 ounce that he likes to, like do mitts with. I think we should try that.
Yeah,
It's way faster.
yeah.
You get a feel for it.
So I want to like work towards more boxing psychology because I have a lot of questions about it
Yeah.
and what your thoughts are on it. So whenever I spar, I'm like, it's almost a bad like humble, like it's not like good. It's like if I hurt you with a body shot, I'm not gonna press you,
Yeah.
or maybe that's good, but like I feel like you should have a sense of like anger in you and like I'm the best. And what I'm asking is like, should I be thinking I'm the best in the room and no one's going to beat me? Or should I be thinking these guys are good and I've improved myself enough? Because normally that's, even through high school, that was my biggest thing was I was always trying to prove myself and my skill. Even though like I was a pretty good wrestler within the state, I was always trying to prove myself on the team and like never felt like I had enough skill. But on contrary, one of our best wrestlers in the room, 2-time state finalist, he never said anyone would beat him. Like anyone ever. There was a nationally ranked kid in the state who was pinning everyone, never lost within the state.
Yeah.
My teammate would never say that kid would beat him. He would say,
I'm gonna go out there and kill this guy.
yeah. He full on believed it too. Like to
Yeah.
this day, he's still kind of a cocky dude, but I think that's almost good.
Especially in a combat sport.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I think you can spar. Like this is something Tay just talks about too, like the killer instinct. When you watch like, I don't want to keep glazing, but when you watch like Ryan spar, he's literally dropping dudes all the time in sparring. Like
Yeah.
you've seen it. I don't think it needs to be that far, but like there's definitely. You can tell when you hurt someone in sparring, and like. Me personally, I don't like go after them and like try to put them down, or like stop the sparring or whatever. But you can work on other stuff. You can work on setting your feet right for the shot that you want to throw or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's productive for the team environment to like to go after sparring in that way.
Yeah. But
Personally.
like
There's
better
different
yet,
philosophies.
yeah. Like while you train, should you be thinking you're the best in the room? or like
Mhm.
I have a lot to gain and a lot of skill to gain before I even touch a national championship. You know what I
Uh,
mean?
I would say, yeah, I think I'm a good person to ask that for, because last year was definitely a lot of like, I'm literally a plebe,
Yeah.
and going to nationals, like, I need to do something, I need to do well for my team. Versus this year is like, I have the belt and I have to defend. But I think there's way more pressure, and that like bad pressure, this year with that mentality that was the best.
Mm.
Just because I was like, it's all by yourself. Like, it's are you putting the pressure on yourself? Because if you claim to be the best, you have to back it up, or you're gonna look like silly.
Yeah.
Versus like, if you're just trying to get better, like I'm not the best one here, I've only been doing this for a year type like mentality. If you lose, you can like, it's not as it's not as on you. It can be like, oh, my partners didn't help me as much. Like, coach could have told me different stuff to do. I've only been doing this for a year.
Yeah.
So
But
it depends like what individual you respond more to. I would
yeah.
say.
I feel like so I've always been kind of like that side where it's all right, I just need to work harder. I'm not there yet, but I
Mhm.
will be. I feel like I should be converting myself to more like not cocky, but like more confident. Cuz I feel like whenever I spar too, it's um I'm just not as confident, and I think if I shifted my like
Yeah.
mentality, it would change how I fight. It would make me more aggressive, and I think I'd land a lot more punches if I thought I was always better than the person in front of me.
I feel like you can, the way you fight. I agree with you. I
Mm.
think you would like be more successful walking the person down more. But I disagree in the fact that you have to think you're better than the other person and you're the best one in the room
Mm.
to fight that way. Like, you can still walk people down that you think are better than you. Are you scared of getting? You're not scared of getting hurt like or punched anymore, right?
No.
Yeah. So now that's like one of the biggest things that stops people from like going after it and sparring. But once you
Mm.
get rid of that, I feel like I don't really think that's like the reason that you're not going after the person in sparring. It's because you don't think you're the best in the room. Do
Yeah.
you think that would solve it if you like thought you were that guy?
I feel like it would be beneficial
Mm.
because I don't know. Like it kind of makes me like seem like a dick. Um, but like you look at great athletes and that's what they have, you
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
They think that no one on earth can beat them.
Mm.
And I feel like especially in combat sports, you might have to embody that. Uh, and I've seen like all sorts of wrestlers and Barry at MMA fighters
Yeah.
do that. Like McGregor does that a lot. Um, every fighter does that. Uh,
Mm.
most, I'd say most. So I don't know.
No, I see where you're coming from. I don't know. I have to think more on that, but just like what I know right now, and being the person, I do think I'm better than most like everyone in the gym around my weight.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really change the way I fight. Like when I spar, I'm not trying to get like, I'm not like killing them.
Yeah.
Like it's more like show you I can hurt you, boom boom, and then like ease off and like let's work on something else. Like if I see my two is open all the time, like I'm not gonna keep like throwing it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like I'll be like, okay, well I can kill this guy with my two. Now let's try to like hurt him to the body with like threes or something.
Mm.
So that's where like I'm coming from, where I'm like I don't really think they're together.
Yeah. What about boxing? Like intrigues you? Why do you like it?
I think it's like a science.
Yeah.
Or like it's super. It's like chess, which is like kind of corny. Everyone says like, oh, boxing
Yeah.
is like chess, but
Yeah.
it really is like, it's like trying to figure something out at like a high level problem, under pressure, while you're getting punched, while you're tired, while like there's everyone screaming on the sides, and like you're like you have to focus up.
Mm.
Which is, I don't know. It's like it's a lot of adrenaline, which I like.
Yeah.
Why do you like boxing? Same
Um,
reasons.
I would say, so I joined the team because kind of like the same reason why I came to West Point was because I just wanted something to do,
Challenge.
like athletically and academically. So like, I finished my wrestling career and I didn't want to wrestle in college because I wasn't good enough for D1.
I'm sure you had you didn't have that.
Not D1. I could have gone like D2, D3. Anyone can go D2, D3.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to because D2, D3 is you gotta go to some small school and get like a decent degree and pay for it.
It's not West Point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I can get into West Point, free degree, and
Yeah.
do something athletically. Barry saw we had a boxing team. Let's do it. So I showed up about actually a year ago this week.
Mm.
Met Coach Hart, came to the boxing room. I think y'all were having like the last Friday night fights.
Did you see me?
I didn't see you. It's on my Instagram.
Interesting.
There's like a picture of me. You can see Chardonnay and Jolia
Yeah.
in the
That's cool.
back. But I saw like everyone's mentality, and it was kind of like a environment of everyone wanting to get better,
Mm.
and I love that because the wrestling room was just a place like a doghouse.
Yeah.
It was just everyone wanted to be a state champ, and we also had a really good team. We should have won a state championship. We got second by like 4 points, which
Yeah.
is like minuscule. It was heartbreaking.
Were you a senior that year?
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. So a part of that also was like, all right, I need to win something.
Yeah.
So came to boxing, and I would say my reasons for liking it now has shifted from then because now it's like wrestling, but there's a different element of physicality to it.
Mm.
Because yeah, is gonna grind your body down, and someone can just like hold you down for 6 minutes and beat the crap out of you,
Yeah.
and you can't do anything about it. Versus boxing, if I get tired, I get brain damage.
Okay.
Like
And you like that?
he's gonna come at me and beat the hell out of me if I can't keep my hands up.
Mm.
And it's like it's more primal, in my opinion. It's
I
cool.
agree.
Um, so like I kind of like the element of this guy's coming at me to attack me.
Mm.
What can I do about it? You know.
Yeah.
Also, you get like a lot of respect for it too.
Respect. It's
Like
nice.
whenever I was a wrestler, I just tell people if someone threatened me, I'd be like, I'm gonna take you down and beat you up.
Yeah.
They just say like, oh, I'll just beat the hell out of you on the feet.
Mm.
Now like, no
What are
one
you
says
who's gonna
anything.
say that?
Yeah, no
Exactly.
one says anything.
Yeah.
Um,
When you get your first belt too, you'll understand. Like it's a lot of. It definitely gets you respect or people looking at you in a way, and also like me being like a small. I don't want to say it, but like small Indian kid. It's like they're like, oh, look at this guy. Oh, you know he's doing boxing. Oh, I didn't think you would box. Like it definitely like I've seen that happen a lot. So that's nice. But going back to your first point, like environment in terms of environments, like here at West Point, I would say the boxing gym, just being around the team is like
yeah,
top three. Like I can't really think of any better places to be just for your growth.
yeah,
Like as a person and like as a fighter and as like overall leader.
yeah.
It's really special.
Like I've never felt the fear of a boxing ring than like anywhere else.
Mm.
Like Spencer punching me like in the face and then like continue to tee off on me.
Yeah.
Like I've never felt that like fear. Oh my, this guy's about to like put me in the dirt. I need to do something about it. It's different.
One thing Spencer said to me, which I think just encapsulates it perfectly, he was like, I was like, why do you box, bro? And he was like, it's the only thing that makes me uncomfortable. Which I think here at West Point, even though West Point's pretty hard, I think like nothing really like gets me in that mind state than boxing.
Yeah,
Like even before sparring, I still get nervous like every time.
yeah,
Like damn, I really don't want to get punched. But like it's on me to make it happen.
yeah. It's kind of like the analogy of putting a snake in a corner.
Mm.
It's like nothing else does that to me like boxing does, to where I have to fight back or else I'm gonna lose health.
Yeah, pain is
You
real.
know?
Someone said like pain is the only real like feeling that you feel.
Tony Ferguson.
Tony said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that explains it.
I mean, a lot of people said, but
Yeah.
Tony had a pretty famous interview about that. Okay. So let's move on towards the end of this season. Golden Gloves and Nationals, regionals and then Nationals.
Yeah.
How they finish up for you?
Golden Gloves was probably my most disappointing fight I've had, just because I should have beat the kid.
Mm.
I don't know. I guess I was off that day. It happens. That's part of sports.
Yeah.
But then regionals, once again, I don't know. I fought this UMass kid, beat him up. He was really short, and that's like how I like to fight. I fight longer.
Mm.
So just like walking back, teeing off. And then fought in finals and regionals, fought the same UConn kid, beat him, and then going into nationals is basically a repeat. I had supposed to have 3 fights in nationals. Our weight class doubled, so that was good. More competition.
Mm.
But the kid who was fighting me pulled out because of injury, so I got it by first round because I was the first seed. And then I fought the same Santa Clara kid from last year. It's kind of weird how it's like the exact same as last year. But I fought the same Santa Clara kid. I stopped him in the second round. He was pretty bloody. That felt good. That's also why I like boxing. It feels good to punch someone.
Yeah.
And then fought the same UConn kid, bro. This dude stopped both of his opponents. He stopped like some guy from Miami, I think, in the first round. And then second fight, he stopped the Air Force kid, who I wanted to fight because I want that star. But yeah, I was a little bit nervous. I was like, damn, this kid just stopped 2 of his opponents. But at the end of the day, like I knew I could beat him. So, yeah, finals day, fought him, beat him, unanimous. Felt nice. Felt better than the first time actually, just because I was putting way more pressure on myself.
Yeah. Would you say it's good to have that nervous energy going in?
I would say it makes me work harder, but
Yeah.
like in terms of my like physical and mental health, I don't think it's not good.
Yeah.
Like I definitely hate it. But I don't know. I feel like you only grow from situations you're uncomfortable in.
Yeah. I remember, I think maybe it was the Golden Gloves fight. I wasn't nervous at all for some reason. I almost accepted that like it's gonna be a dog fight.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really that nervous energy in me, and I kind of like that. Whenever I have it.
Yeah. The
'Cause it
nervous energy. Or,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it kind of gets your heart racing, and it kind of lets your body know that, all right, let's go work.
Yeah.
Rather than some of my other fights, like whenever I fought Daniel Spencer,
Yeah.
I wasn't nervous that much, and maybe that's why like I came out a little slow.
Yeah.
Normally I come out slow and don't win the first round, but I don't know.
Are you nervous of losing, or are you nervous of getting punched?
I would say losing.
Yeah, I feel like that's all everyone on the team. Or
Yeah.
like even when you do combat sports. Because
Yeah.
it's not really like, I know I'm going to get hit either way. So it's not like you're
Yeah.
scared of getting punched. But just the pressure, like, that's why I say I like boxing and I like the aspect of fighting and all that. But like the pressure of like competitions and stuff, I don't really enjoy.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about leadership on the team, because you're leaving next semester.
I am to Chile.
So are some other yucks that are going to be pretty important. What do you think is the most important aspect of being a leader on the boxing team is?
I'm sure you've noticed this, but we have like administrative leaders on the boxing team, and we have like boxing leaders.
Yeah.
Like I was never really one. Like I'm the PSG for attendance. Like I'm not really doing like the admin stuff.
Yeah.
Day to day. Like I think my leadership on the team comes more from singling out people that want to get better and like enabling them to get better by teaching them new stuff that they can work on their own, or like whether it's like if I really fuck with you, like you and a couple other people on the team, I'll like actually hold mitts and like I'll be invested in your own getting better. Boxing is weird because it's not like soccer where you have a team captain who's like on the field with you,
Yeah.
and, like, calling plays or dictating stuff like that. Like, and at the end of the day, you're alone in the ring. So
Yeah.
everything my leadership has to be is helping you help yourself when you're in that position in the ring. So also with boxing, like you can get better by yourself. Like it's more the work you put in on your own time. Then like group workouts are fine for like conditioning and stuff, and like I guess when we do 30-second drills, but like at the end of the day, everything we do on the bags, like you would probably be better off doing it on your own.
Yeah. No, I feel like I get way better whenever, say, we have an open gym, and
Yeah,
I'm just
me
in
too.
the gym by myself for like 3 hours. Not by myself, but like working on what I want.
Working on individual stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly. Versus like when the team captain's like, okay, everyone, we're gonna work on 3, 2, 3, like skipping in,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Which it's good to like introduce that idea so you know what, like, it's a good aspect to know,
yeah,
but those who are going to get better with it are the ones that practice it by themselves.
yeah,
Because like that group workout, it's almost like only introducing the technique.
it really is. It's like a crash course, but then it's on you to perfect it because you're never gonna learn like how to leverage your weight and all that, like the really niche stuff from like lags in the front trying to teach 80 people at once.
Yeah.
So like my position on the team, I feel like is the mediator between him telling everyone I'd be the guy like walking around individually to like each bag and be like, hey, work on this, do this, you know what I mean, rather than staying at the front.
Mm-hmm. So Lags was kind of more of a, I would say, like,
Like a figurehead or
yeah.
something.
And Ryan was like the example of how you should be.
Yeah.
Is there like, do you plan on being one versus the other?
Um, it depends. I think I would be better in a Ryan type role, just because I'm not like the most outspoken guy, and
Yeah.
I'm not really that good at interacting with like selling. Like you have to sell like Lax has to sell a lot of stuff. I don't know if you realize, but like he's always talking to like they have like a captain's group, and like he's just trying to get stuff for the boxing team like that. You have to like interact with a lot of higher ups.
Mm.
But I think like my focus and what I really enjoy doing is like individual. Like the most fun I have at boxing is when I'm like helping, either working on my own stuff or like helping like if it's just me and you holding mitts in the room or something.
Yeah.
Like yeah. So I think I would be better in that role. Also, I feel like technique wise, I'm a little bit more advanced than most of the people.
Mm.
So I feel like someone else can fit the figurehead role while I use like my knowledge about technique and stuff.
Mm. Okay. Let's talk about getting better. Okay.
Getting better.
How does like, say from someone who just put on their mitts
Mhm.
for the first time and gloves, get better to say your level or Ryan's level?
Yeah.
What steps? What do they focus on in the beginning, middle, and like
Yeah.
towards? That brings them to another level.
Yeah. This is something I've thought about a lot because I will probably end up being captain just the way the team works.
Mm.
And I've like seen this year knowing something about boxing. I just think there's like a problem with the way we teach people.
Yeah.
Which is not like it's by design because we have an 80-person team. Like you're not gonna be able to teach people. But shout out Michael Hall because like this is what I'm trying to do with him because like he really does not have much experience.
Mm.
And even after a semester being on this team, like I feel like he still like probably has like 2 weeks of like actual boxing training.
Mm.
So, Coach Avi's recipe for success, I would say, first thing you have to learn is footwork, and it's like having to shift your weight on your feet. It helps if you have a background with other sports already,
Mm.
but just like jumping rope, learning the boxer step, learning like shadow. Don't even punch a bag for like until you can get your weight right on your feet.
Mm.
And once I feel like that would take about 2 weeks of like at least an hour a day. It's like shadow boxing, moving around, figuring out how to balance your weight.
Mm.
Then I would say get with someone who knows how to punch and start with the jab. That's the most important punch. And then once you perfect the jab, keeping like there's like 4 or 5 different fundamental types of jabs. You know, like the up jab, like
Yeah.
touch jab, all that shit. But once you get all that, build on the 2. This is where it starts getting hard because you have to transfer your weight between punches. So perfect jab, perfect 2. Then I learned the 3. This is how I did it too. Then you add the 3. So like when we have sparring days in the gym, I would say like literally only throw your jab, your 2, and your 3 for like the first month.
Mm.
Then after that you can like start learning your own style because 1, 2, 3 I feel like is the fundamentals, and then like everything else is kind of niche. Maybe a 6 after that, 5, and then the last thing is a 4. Like I do not like that punch.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
Even though I see a lot of people use it well,
Yeah.
I feel like I don't get power in it unless I throw an overhand.
And a
with
2
it.
is faster.
Yeah.
Either way, but yeah, and then the overhand 7 people call it, but
Mm.
yeah.
So, in my opinion, I would say I've gotten decent footwork in.
Yeah, I
And
think got a lot better.
It's just like single punches I need to work on now.
Technique?
I think that's where I'm at. 'Cause like I know how to throw a 3. I know how to throw a 2.
Yeah.
No, decent overhand, but like, it's putting them together that's my problem right now. Like,
I would say like the next jump after you have good form on the bag and with mitts with your punches, just a lot of sparring and a lot of watching film.
mm,
Because once you have the building blocks, you can start putting them together for
Yeah.
fights. You know what I mean?
that makes sense.
Yeah. But that's a part that takes a lifetime. Like, and like you hear like the professionals are like, oh, I'm still growing.
Mm.
Like they're working on their form, yeah, but it's like nitpicks. Like
Yeah.
what they're doing is like rebuilding their base for every fight, like watching film, analyzing their opponent, and that's how they get better.
Would you say it's a bad idea to like restart that process every now and then? Like just go back to footwork for
I
a
would
solid
not say
month?
that's a bad idea at all. I
Mm.
mean, I don't think anyone's perfect. Like I still go back. I probably spend more time shadow boxing. I do spend more time shadow boxing hitting a bag. I don't really see that much utility in just standing there.
Mm.
That's like what a majority of our team does is just like stand on a bag, like not really thinking. Just, I mean, it feels good to like punch some shit, but like,
Yeah.
are you really getting better at the end of the day?
Yeah. Would you say it's more like you have to intentionally think to get better, or can you just go through the movements and get enough reps to get better?
I mean, you're gonna get better, either either way you do it. Like if you're just showing up to practice and like going through the motions, you'll get better. But I would probably say it's like a 5 times speed boost if you are intentional with every practice.
Mm.
Like going to the gym, be like, today I'm working on my jab 3, like you did. What was that, Friday?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure that helped you even 1% better every day on one specific thing.
Yeah. No, I've been like kind of doing a lot of drills like Dylan does,
Yeah.
where he'll just sit in front of the bag, especially when we're on board.
Mm.
I'll just work on throwing a 2, like
Yeah.
maybe like 52s. And that definitely helped in sparring, because like I'll get riled up in sparring and tired, and then I'll just think back, all right, what do I need to do? I need to throw a solid like 1-2, and think back to how I threw it on the bag perfectly.
Mm.
And then that'll just like help me execute it a lot better.
Yeah, it's very simple getting better. Like you just learn how to do it on a bag when there's no pressure, and you learn how to do it in mitts when the target's moving around and you have to like move your feet.
Mm.
And then when you have that down, then you learn on how to time it in a real sparring.
Yeah.
'Cause if you can't do it on the bag, you can't do it. You're not gonna do it in a real spar session.
I feel like that's one of the hardest things to do, though, is to learn it while sparring.
Oh yeah, that part takes way longer.
You have to intentionally think, like, okay, like I'm gonna throw my cover block up and I'm gonna return with a 2 right here, because it also takes like guts to do that.
I've been working on my slip outside with the jab and then like a 5
Yeah.
for like 2 years, and I've literally hit it like twice in sparring. I've never hit it in a match.
Yeah.
Just because like you have to commit to slipping your head outside and then like throw it automatically.
Yeah.
But the time I did hit it was fucking sick. It was cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can shift from boxing now. We've been talking about that for a while. My mom just called me. Let me go make sure it's still filming.
All right, no worries.
So, let's talk about West Point again, the Army. What do you want to get out of West Point?
Just grow myself as much as I can within these. Like people say it's a long 4 years, but honestly, like I feel like it's gone by in a flash.
Yeah.
And I will say that I'm happy with how much I've grown. But just keep it going. Like keep seeking out harder, new opportunities, push my comfort zones out.
Would you attribute that to boxing mainly? Excuse me. Or like...
In terms of leadership and like just how I am as a person, I would say boxing has done a lot for my self-confidence and just for like how to deal with other people. And working hard at one thing like that for a long time is going to be beneficial.
Yeah.
It's commitment.
Yeah, no, commitment's like a very important thing to learn.
Like the days that I don't want to go to the gym, I think I learn the most.
Yeah.
Just because you force yourself to be there.
Yeah. No, definitely. I feel like people don't learn about commitment enough.
Mm-hmm.
Especially here. Like, sure, there's committed people.
That's a hot take.
No, like, I mean, sure, it's normal with all like college campuses, but it's hard to find someone who really commits themselves to one thing. Like, I'm not even talking like relationships or anything.
Mm.
It's like, can you set a goal and commit to that for 4 years? You know, like a boxer.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a national championship first semester plebe year? And can you commit by taking like 6 days a week in the gym every week for the next 4 years?
I know what you mean now. The exodus of the team.
Yeah.
We lost like half the team.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Like
I feel like boxing is extreme just because it sucks. Like if your whole heart is not in this shit, who is gonna go and get beat up twice a week and then run hills the other 4 days?
Yeah. No,
like,
that's true.
You really have to love it.
I feel like that's commitment though.
That is commitment, yeah. That's
like,
what I gained the most from being on the team. I feel like just hard work.
That's what really like developed in me with wrestling, because I wrestled for 5 years and that shit like sucks. Like in general, I didn't like it sophomore, junior year. Better yet, most of his senior year, because I was injured most of the time, and I just sat there and watched. I did what I could, but it just sucked. But I think that's the most important thing about commitment, is doing something that you hate, but you're doing it for a greater purpose, your goal.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
once you can do it, I think it's definitely transferable. Like doing it at boxing, it's gonna show when we're in a war.
yeah,
You know.
no, definitely. Um, I think that's like one of the greatest virtues this place can give you is committing.
Yeah.
Uh, so like again, coming out of West Point, do you have any goals?
Um, if all goes well within the army, I think I want to be a Green Beret.
Mm.
But yeah, that's my goal right now. So branch infantry, um, go through ranger school, all that jazz.
Yeah,
That's like 60% of people here. But yeah, I feel like Green Berets would be cool.
yeah, no, definitely. Would war shift that perspective?
People ask me that. My parents ask me that. I feel like it has to shift your perspective. But at the end of the day, like that's why we're here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. That's why I came here. So it's not like I'm gonna run away
Mm-hmm.
from the thing that we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. No, my sister texted me after Iran dropped bombs or wherever
Yeah.
they did to Israel.
Mm-hmm.
She texted me at night. She was like, "Have you seen what Iran did? Like, World War III's coming. What do you
Yeah.
think about this?" First thing I said was like, Twitter blows up about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like in 2020,
You have to, like,
whenever,
cool down before you can figure out what's
yeah,
supposed to happen.
yeah, like Iran shot down one of our drones in 2020 or something.
Yeah.
And everyone thought we were going World War III.
Russia had that like AWOL missile that landed in Poland.
Yeah.
That we're gonna go to war.
Yeah.
It keeps happening.
It's like, first off, you have to assess that it's just like, sure, it could start a fire, but it's probably nothing right now. But even if it was something, like, I'm here for that reason. You know, I'm not here to go play on the sidelines. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here, and this is kind of like one of my purposes for being here is to like develop myself to be the best war fighter possible, and war doesn't shift that purpose at all. Um, that's also why I box too, because I think that's the greatest character development I can get
Yeah.
in terms of like real character development, not like BS, CCEP, or shit, anything.
Yeah.
Something that's gonna put me like in the fire, and I'm gonna have to crawl my way out. Like that's boxing right there.
I agree.
Um, and then back to the original point, like say Taiwan explodes, we go to war, that doesn't really change. I know like I'm gonna probably be scared, but like life's hard, you know.
Yeah.
People have to do the hard work. So I think that's the whole purpose of this place.
I mean, no one's gonna be happy when a war breaks out. But,
Yeah.
like, that's the reason that they have this place, and that's the reason I'm getting all the benefits that I am right now. So
Yeah.
you gotta give back.
Yeah. So, have you ever thought about Ranger Edge over the Berets?
I have. I think my skill set, especially being like not white, would fit well with the Green Berets.
Yeah. I didn't think about it like
Play to my
that.
strength, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, and especially like the fact that I'm smaller and more agile,
Mm.
I would say is an advantage. It would be more of an advantage in the Green Berets than the Ranger Red.
Why is that?
They have to be more tactical, and I mean like Ranger Edge, like from what I've heard, like I'm not acting like I know that too much, but it's like rough them up, like kick the door down, get in there.
Yeah.
But it's like more like embedding with indigenous forces and like helping them get better. I think a more specialized mission would be more suited to my skill set.
Yeah. I have a mentor back home who I think he was a Green Beret, and then I think he went PsyOps.
Mm-hmm.
Small dude, like not a big dude at all. But he's like doing great things right now.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't take like a massive man to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I think also like just the cerebral aspect would be good with Green Berets. I feel like I have a lot to offer
Yeah.
in that regard.
No, it's definitely different from like the Ranger Edge, where it's kind of just like a bunch of linebackers,
Yeah.
like
Not blow your front door down and fucking.
like kill you,
Yeah.
you know.
Much as I want to be that guy, I don't think it's very well suited.
Yeah.
Maybe though, I'm not ruling it out. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not like, that's not my goal right now,
Mhm.
but it's more about what happens when we get into the army.
Yeah.
It's like, say I
Your
hate the.
stars land on the moon. That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
Just might as well dream big.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to do, Ranger Red? You
It's
want to
not.
go infantry?
I really don't know. Like it's infantry or FA really right
Mhm.
now. Um, but if like say I go infantry, I go ranger school, that's cool. Say I hate the infantry,
Yeah.
I get out in 5 years. Say I love it, I go ranger reg or green berets, whichever one I find more appealing. Cause
Yeah.
they're kind of both on the table right now.
I
But
mean,
it's
you
just
say
a
that, but it's hard as fuck.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
not like
I know what you
I
mean.
got the contracts in front of me.
Yeah.
It's just like right now I don't really have a goal in either of them. It's more about what I'm what I'm feeling whenever I get to the army.
Hmm.
Same thing with like a career in the army.
Yeah.
I have no idea right now.
That's where I feel like that's where I am as
I
well.
told the people who interviewed me for this place, I was like, yeah, I want to be here for 20 years.
I mean,
Like,
that's what they want to hear.
yeah,
But like, I don't know if anyone, unless your
knows.
parents were in the military, I find that most people here are like in the same vein.
Yeah,
Like, to be honest, I don't really know how it's gonna be, so I don't want to
yeah. I feel like if you
claim I'm gonna
think
do
you
20.
know, you're kind of like stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
You have no idea. This is very different
Yeah.
than the real job.
It's not coddled, but it's not the same at all.
Yeah.
Like, mm. All right.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about? We got about an hour 15 down.
Not unless you have anything.
I think I covered just about everything.
No more questions on that computer?
No, it's dead.
Actually, I do want to ask you. Where do you see yourself on the team next year, like leadership wise and then boxing wise?
I think that I should like be stepping up as a
Filling that role.
yeah, cuz I'm looking at the numbers right now and we have few cows, we have very few yucks, and the team's going to be completely open for leadership and for just numbers. I think it's going to take a win or two for me to actually get respect.
Yeah.
Because you can't have leadership and you being a leader from the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have
need
to
some type of credential.
Yeah. So I think first off, my plan is to be in full shape coming into fall semester, so that whenever the first fight opens, I get it, and I can go prove myself.
Yeah.
Get that black headgear.
75.
Probably.
What do you weigh right now?
I'm like 190 right now.
Oh shit.
I can make it,
I'm
but
sure you could, but it's not gonna be great.
yeah, I'd rather weigh like 180.
Yeah.
Which I know I can because I weighed that last year. But yeah, my goal for next year is to like establish myself like you did, even though I won't have a strap. Just like as someone who works the hardest in the room.
Yeah.
And that's like their biggest credential is that they're in there 3 hours a day at least working constantly.
The strap is okay. I want to ask you this. Do you think the strap is nice, especially to get plebe year? But I feel like that's more of a circumstance because like I feel like I was not the best plebe on the team. I still don't think I'm the best yuck.
Yeah, but
like,
no one thinks like maybe some people think that like, oh, he had a really crappy weight class and he got it.
yeah.
But at the same time, like you're a plebe and you want it, you know.
But it's like the competition that I face is really not that good. So I just wonder like I want to be respected because I'm the hardest worker and I'm good at boxing, not because I won.
Yeah.
I won stuff. Does that make sense?
No,
It's
that
always,
makes
like,
sense.
It's what goes through my head. I'm like, man, all these people like think are listening to me because I like won 2 national championships, but really they should be listening to me because I put in the work on the off time and I'm in here
Yeah.
a lot more than most people.
I would say the national championships like shadow that.
Yeah.
They're kind of like the face front of this is why I need to listen to him because he's won 2 national championships. That's something that I don't have and won't have next year.
That's true.
So that's why I'm gonna have to rely on hard work.
Yeah. If they're smart though, they'll figure out that you're someone they should listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta get a
Appreciate
couple
that.
plebes like I did, put them under your wing.
Yeah.
That's what really builds a team more than like we talked about it before. More than the team workouts is like individual first season like leaders on a team selecting and like working with people and growing them. So yeah. When I come back second semester, I better see like 2 little.
I'm gonna have a little
Samalays.
clan.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I will. Avi, Thank you for coming on.
Yep. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. Next year, once you come back, we'll probably do it again.
Yeah.
Just wrap up your time over there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I hope I have some Chilean stories to share.
yeah, no, for sure.
All right.
All right, yeah, cool.
Bye-bye.